In a single moment, our lives can change forever. A relationship ends, a loved one dies, or we're facing a very challenging psychedelic experiences which it seems impossible to recover from. For me, it's facing a little health crisis at the moment. I've been sick for 8 weeks and I'm learning insanely valuable lessons that are not only applicable to a health crisis, but to every challenge life presents us. And these I want to share with you in this video today. The primary aim of this video is to present different possibilities on how we can view challenging situations in our life and move through different typical coping mechanisms that we use when we face such difficult situations. And maybe even offer a perspective on some practical advice on what to do in moving through these challenging situations. There's a saying that goes, without health, everything is nothing. Or if you've got health, you've got everything. And without health, you ain't got a thing. I don't know how it goes. And there's also the saying in the spiritual community which says, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. But how true is that really? Because I've noticed sometimes things just suck. Especially lately, life has been giving me challenges after challenges. And in these situations, sometimes I don't want to hear like, hey man, this suffering that you're experiencing right now, that's a choice of yours. Even though at the most fundamental level it might be. But what I want to hear is like, yeah man, it sucks. What you're going through right now, it fucking sucks. But which one of these is serving us more? Because life is a continuous emergence of stimuli and appearances. And there is a freedom that we have in choosing our response to these stimuli. But I'll honestly have to say, being sick for 8 weeks right now, it broke me down. It completely broke me down. It is not just challenging physically, but also emotionally, spiritually, socially. It impacts every single area of my life. And I have been choosing suffering and struggling a lot. And what I am going through with my mini health crisis at the moment, I will say I'm blessed to have this mini health crisis and that I'm learning from this, because I cannot even imagine what it would be like for some people to go through some serious health crisis and through some serious health issues. So I don't want to downplay all of this. All my love and support and all the blessings go out to everybody who's facing way more serious situations. But this is just what I learned from my little health crisis of being a little bit sick for 8 weeks. So with every situations we face, we can choose a different response. And sometimes, for example, in this health crisis, some responses just emerged unconsciously. And there's no right or wrong response to a situation, but we can maybe raise our awareness and consciousness towards a certain situation to see if the response we're choosing is actually the most beneficial one and one that we want to choose. So, a typical one for many of us regarding any challenging situations, which I've been going through at the beginning as well, is denial. Not even recognizing the problem. Just like putting it under the rug, it's not even there. Not even looking at it. And then hoping that it's gonna resolve itself. And then afterwards, after it didn't resolve itself, there is certain feelings and emotions and actions that come with this sense of denial. Then it moved into apathy and lethargy and maybe even a little bit of a victimhood. A victim mentality of like, this is what life gives to me and I am not in control. I am the victim of my circumstances. This is a typical response because it certainly does feel that way. That something is emerging, for example, a sickness or a certain outer circumstance which is outside our sense of control. But what is in our control is our response. And then either we can fall into this victimhood or we can move to a different level. And I moved certainly to a different level, because the second level of response I chose, consciously or unconsciously, was anger. Saying, I am angry that this is happening. I don't want this happening. I'm judging the situation because I am preferring, my personal sense of bias and preference is another state of being. So now I'm angry at the world for presenting this situation to me, which feels uncomfortable and undesirable to me. And again, this is not only applicable to a health situation, but for example also relationship ends. And we feel attacked by the situation. We move into a sense of conflict with the situation and we resist it because we want it to be different. We need it to be different. And we don't have any sense of control over the situation. That's why we're angry at the situation. And from that, I can say I moved into a very dark place of like struggle and suffering and depression, and then trying to rest but not being able to, and also wanting to work but not being able to. So this was setting in progress a very interesting process of observation. But then there's a different response we can choose. We can move into a sense of responsibility, saying, okay, this is what happens, and now I'm responsible kind of for the situation and also kind of for my response to the situation. So I can actually get a little bit of a sense of empowerment to say, okay, now what can I do in this situation? What is in my control? I could go to the doctor. I could get some blood checks done. I could choose to spend my time in a way which I do enjoy this interesting period of rest. And with this sense of responsibility, there might come a little sense of forgiveness as well. And then maybe we move even on to a different level, to a level of compassion and empathy and taking care of ourselves. Not fully accepting the situation, but also not being in this destructive energy of apathy, victimhood, and conflict anymore. But actually seeing the situation for what it is, taking responsibility for it, and then moving on with a sense of empathy and compassion, being kind to ourselves in that situation, and seeing what we can do to build up something which is more beautiful. And then eventually we might move into even higher levels of consciousness or different perspectives on how to see certain situations, which might include fully surrendering to them, fully accepting them, and seeing the benefit in them. And before we do that, I actually have to say that coaching is something I'm doing at the moment. I'm getting trained as a professional coach. If you're interested, by the way, you can book a free one-on-one call with me to see if the benefit of coaching could benefit you as well, and the power of coaching. Because I was talking to my coach about this situation and choosing these different levels of energy which I am learning at the moment, and certain different perspectives, and talking that through with somebody else, even regarding a certain situation with my health crisis, with my little health crisis at the moment, helped me immensely to get out of my own way and out of this kind of little sense of perspective, limited sense of perspective, to open my perspective up to, how could I see this situation, and how can I choose my response in a way which is even more beneficial to me. So that's just on the side note something I noticed which did help me quite a bit. And then we can move to this sense of surrender and this sense of joy and a different, more conscious perspective on the situation. So seeing it like, what is the most beneficial perspective? That the illness might be a process of purification of the body. If you're not afraid, the illness could have a different meaning. It could present even an opportunity to learn something about yourself. A certain challenge has always in it the seed of opportunity for learning, which might be hard to see. As I said, this thing broke me down. I saw no opportunity to learn anything. I was just completely broken by it and very deep down in the darkness, and still am. At one point or another, I'm still struggling so much. But struggling against a situation or a challenge makes it worse. Struggling against anything makes it worse, because there's this sense of tension, this sense of resistance towards the situation. But there is also an opportunity to remain with it, to stay with it, to be present with it, and then to see what we can experience, kind of patiently observing our mechanisms of mind and body, getting to know ourselves a little bit better, getting to know this experience of reality a little bit better. And then seeing, how do we meet the pain? How do we meet the challenge? Patiently and curiously observing how we might be initially reacting with this more destructive perspective, and then raising our awareness to see how we can see this situation, how we react to this situation. And then observing ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And then we can take this seed of opportunity for learning and see if we can learn something about ourselves and about life in how we react or choose to respond to this situation, to this challenge. And also we can see it in the highest sense, getting a little bit more spiritual, of like, where is our craving for health coming from? Where's our craving for pleasure or comfort coming from? Why are we so biased towards one state of being and aversive towards another state of being? So why do we cling to health? Why do we run away from pain? Why do we resist this sense of illness or a certain dramatic change in our life? Because there is a certain truth we can tap into, which is everything is Shakti. Lately I've been learning more about the mother, about Kalima, about Devi. Because everything, from my current understanding, everything is Shakti. Everything is the mother. All of reality is the mother. All of the reality is Kali. The painful experiences and the challenging experiences and appearances, as well as the pleasurable or beautiful experiences. It all is part of the mother. And if we resist this one part, we resist a part of the mother. We resist a part of Kali. And if we can embrace and see this as a tantric practice to embrace more of the mother, to embrace more of reality, to embrace more of Shakti, then we can see this as an opportunity for spiritual growth. No matter the challenge we are facing, no matter the pain we are facing, no matter the suffering we are choosing to embody at this specific time. And also we can see everything is temporary. Everything will pass. Consciousness is in a constant change of shifting. And yes, if you're dealing with some chronic illness, I've been sick for 8 weeks, it seems like forever. It seems like it's not gonna stop. But consciousness is inevitably gonna change. If it's in this lifetime or after this. But it's in a constant movement of change. So, As I said, there's nothing right or wrong with choosing any of these responses. You can happily choose to engage in your response to a situation with apathy, victimhood, and conflict, as did I. Even after all this practice, even after all the psychedelics, and even after raising my awareness to this point, I've still fallen to choose into the perspective of denial, apathy, anger, conflict, responsibility, forgiveness. I moved through all of it. And now, even now, I'm not fully at the point of surrendering and accepting the situation as it is, and loving the mother in this experience of life. I can tap into it from one point or another, but still from a human perspective, it still sucks. And then I'll have to admit, humbly admit, that I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I am seeing the truth of pain is inevitable and suffering is a choice, and still through experiences and challenges of life, I humbly admit that I am not at that level of consciousness yet to be able to see and choose this response of ultimate joy and seeing opportunity in every situation. I am aware now, partly through coaching and through my own inner work and through moving through this process, that there is the possibility to choose that perspective, and I might try to take it on. But I can also see and not judge any other response on the spectrum of possible responses, because there's no right or wrong, there's no better or worse response, because everything just is, and it is part of the whole, and that is fine and beautiful just as it is, because we are accepted by reality just as we are, in our capacity to choose any response to a given situation just as we are able to. And that is beautiful. So that's all. Guys, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming on the channel. There's gonna be a school community soon, because YouTube is deleting a couple more channels in the psychedelic space. We're gonna move to a different platform. I'm gonna create a free school community soon. There's gonna be free online course, and amazing stuff is coming. And as I said, I'm getting trained as a coach. I'm starting to work with people, and it's exciting to see the transformations of the people I'm working with. So if you're curious about the process of coaching, it might not be what you think it is. You can book a free one-on-one discovery call. I'm excited to talk to you one-on-one. All the blessings, all the love. I hope you could take something out of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Oh my God. That took all the energy I had. I am done. Like oh my God. I haven't done a video for over 2 months now. And it's been good to do one, but it took everything I had. Bless.